What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about typical things Germans do. And I have German blood in me, so I'm really curious to see if I do some of these typical things that these Germans do here in America. I thought that would be pretty interesting. But yeah, this video is by Antoinette Emily. 5 very German things that Germans do. Typical habits noticed by a New Zealander. All right, so let's check it out.
I will often see a German doing something or acting in a certain way, or I'll hear them saying something that makes me think that right there was so German. The funny thing is, most of the time they will have no idea that what they're doing is just so typically German, and people from other countries just don't do these things. These things are specifically, distinctively German. So I thought it would be fun to put together a list of little things Germans do that are just so very German. Okay, so let's jump into it. As I said, this is a very random list. So in no particular order, something that Germans do all the time, like almost on a daily basis, especially in the winter time. So here in Germany, when somebody sneezes, the automatic response is Gesundheit. It doesn't matter who that person is. It could be a friend, a stranger, a family member, it doesn't matter. The response from a German will always be Gesundheit. The actual translation of Gesundheit is health, but it basically just means bless you. And if you're German and you're watching this, you're probably thinking, but you say bless you in English, isn't that the same thing? It kind of is, but it's not used on the same scale as Gesundheit. Like, we don't have to say it. We do sometimes say it after somebody sneezes, but in Germany, if you don't say Gesundheit to the person who has just sneezed, it is like the height of rudeness. And Germans just will automatically say Gesundheit. It doesn't matter if, you're out in public and that person has no idea who you are and you sneeze, that person will say Gesundheit.
So, like, if somebody said that, like, should I say that as well? Like, if somebody sneezes, should, like, just everybody around them say it? Or is it sufficient just to do one time to not be rude? I know, that's very interesting. A lot of people here, they do the bless you, and it's pretty much half and half. Half the people I hear, they'll say bless you, and the other half just kind of doesn't say anything.
And you'll say danke. I will never forget, when I first moved to Germany, my German husband or boyfriend at the time sneezed and I didn't say anything, and I just remember him looking at me in disbelief, and I was like, what? And he said, you didn't say bless you. And I was like, oh bless you, sorry. And he looked really like, I don't know, he was kind of like offended, and I was thinking, that's really weird, because I mean, maybe I should have said it, but you don't have to say it. He was thinking that bless you kind of held the same weight as Gesundheit, and he just thought it was so rude that I didn't say it to him. And then I realized, like, he explained to me, oh, in Germany you have to say Gesundheit, like, it's really rude if you don't. And then I clicked, I have never made that mistake again. If I hear somebody sneeze, it doesn't matter who they are, even if I don't know them, I will always say Gesundheit.
Okay,
so moving on, something else.
I definitely didn't know that. That's a good thing to know. So what happens when you toot? Do you have to say, like, usually for, like, Americans, we'll be like, excuse me, but nobody really responds after that. I mean, I don't know. Let me know down in the comments if it's a different thing for that with you guys.
That is just so typically German, is how Germans open beer bottles with everything other than a beer bottle opener. You will see Germans opening their beer bottle with anything they can get their hands on. It could be like the remote control of a television, it could be some keys, it could be like a knife, a fork, just anything. Like if there is like a table next to them, they'll just go on the table. Like they just know how to open beer bottles in every way possible. I've seen Germans use their cell phone to open a beer bottle. I've seen them use like a plastic bottle to open it. If I try and do this, I will fail like 99% of the time.
Yeah, and then us Americans, like I've seen so many people open beer bottles with their teeth, and I couldn't imagine doing that. That would not be good. But yeah, I've seen a lot of people do that.
And Germans, I don't know, they just have this like talent for opening beer bottles. My husband is no exception. He will open his beer with the first thing he can find, and he manages to open it like 100% of the time. I have no idea how he does this. If you're German and you're watching this, do you do this too? And if you do, like how? Is it the speed in which you do it? Is it like the angle? I can't work it out. Something else that is just so German is when somebody comes up to you in a public place. Let's say, I don't know, I'm going to use the supermarket for an example again. Somebody will come up to you with a coin and ask you if this is your coin, like if you've lost it. It could be like a €2 coin, but it could be something as little as a 10-cent coin, but they will come up to you and ask you if this is your coin. And this is just so German. Like, I don't think New Zealanders would do that. I don't know. But it just all comes down to like German honesty. Germans are so honest in that way. In other videos, I've talked about the fact that if you lose something in Germany, say like a woolly hat or a glove or something, then most likely you're going to find it again. You just have to retrace your steps, and that item will be hanging on a tree or just put up on a fence or somewhere that is easy for you to see, because Germans, they don't steal things like that. They will leave it in a place where you can find it. And you know, the same with money. Germans are just so honest, and this has happened to me like so many times. A German will come up to me and say, "Oh, did you lose this 10 cents?" And
I mean, I as an American, I do that. But also I've also feel like that I'm honest in that aspect, or in any aspect, but
you know, I don't like how am I to know if this is my 10 cents, but anyway, they still, you know, don't want to take it unless they are 100% sure that it doesn't belong to the person close to them. I just find that so sweet. Germans are so trustworthy with things like that. Actually, my little boy Mateo, he will often see coins lying around on the footpath or something like that, and he'll say to me, "I can't take that, can I? That belongs to somebody." I'll be thinking to myself, he probably could take that, you know, nobody's around, nobody's going to see him pick it up. But since he's grown up in Germany, he just instinctively knows that he shouldn't pick up that coin, because that is stealing and somebody might have lost it and they'll come back and pick it up. So I think that is so sweet, and I think I love these types of values that are installed in my children from, you know, just living in Germany and being influenced by German mentality in that sense. Okay, so something else that is just so typically German is the very clever way in which Germans pack their recycling bins, more specifically their paper recycling. Germans are able to fit so much into their paper recycling bins, and the way they do this is like flattening down every single box or every single carton and just making it just super flat. As a New Zealander coming to Germany, I was just not really familiar with the whole concept of recycling at that time, and I had no idea how to pack my paper recycling, and I would just like put the whole box in the bin. You Germans are probably cringing hearing this, but I would just chuck the boxes in the bin, and you know, before I knew it, the bin was filled up, and I would say to Rob, "Oh, we don't have any room in the recycling bin." He would come over and look, and he'd just like shake his head. He would like take everything out of the bin and neatly fold it up and just like stack it in there and just like jump on it, so it was super flat.
that is how my boyfriend is. 100%. We are trying to get this recycling thing down. They used to do recycling, like everybody had a recycling bin, and they would come on Wednesdays or whatever day and go around, pick up recycling. All you have to do is take your green bin and put it in front of the road or by the road. And they come and pick it up. Everything's great. But they stopped doing that, and pretty much if you want to recycle, you have to drive all the way to the recycling center and drop it off, which I think that's just really stupid. I think they need to bring that back because we are so wasteful as it is. And it is just, it's crazy. It's just really crazy.
Flat, and after that the recycling bin wouldn't even be half full. Germans are just so good at being able to do this. Like, even now I really struggle with trying to get everything in the bin properly. Even if I fold it, it doesn't work the way my husband does it. Okay, so something else that is just so German is when a German underestimates their level of English. So I'm looking back to when I first moved to Germany, and this is before I started learning German. I could not speak German at all, and so the only way of me being able to communicate with people was speaking English. So I would often have to say to somebody, do you speak English? And most of the time, like I would say like 90% of the time, I'd ask a German if they spoke English, and they would say just a little bit. And then they would go on to speak like beautiful, flawless English, like better than most native speakers. I'm not saying this is the case for every German, but this has just happened to me so many times where I was expecting the German to hardly be able to string a sentence together, but they speak like perfect, fluent English. And I don't know why Germans do this. I think they either underestimate their level of English, or they just don't want to sound like they're showing off. They'd rather say that they're not as good and then surprise you, or they just simply don't realize that they're awesome. So this is a very German thing to do, is say I speak little English when actually you're completely fluent. So anyway, guys,
Yeah, I really like that.
I have come to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. There are so many
Awesome. I really did enjoy it. Yeah, 5 very German things that Germans do. I could relate in some ways, but I've also heard that Germans, they always see the glass half empty instead of half full. That's kind of how I am. I think actually I
points I can talk about, but I have
somewhere on here I seen. Oh yeah, the glass is always half empty for a German. And when we're asked if we could speak English, in our minds we are still sitting in school and are afraid of failing the test. Yeah, that's funny. Good video. Anybody have any requests? Stick it down in the comments below and I will get to them. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.